Let's go live now to Los Angeles. Josh Lockman is there, a lecturer in international law at the University of Southern California. Josh, thanks very much for your time. How significant do you think this is?
I think this is very significant, and there are obviously clear challenges and opportunities at the same time, not only for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, but for the region at large. I think, first and foremost, we have to look at the underlying opportunity here on a geopolitical level. This visit by the Emir of Qatar today, the first head of state to visit Gaza since Hamas took power in 2006, signals the weakening position of both Iran and Syria, which have historically supported Hamas, and obviously since the uprising, which began in Syria in March 2011 last year, has kind of forced Hamas to relocate, literally. Khalid Mishal is now based in Doha, and Hamas has supported the Syrian opposition in their efforts to overthrow Bashar al-Assad. And at the same time, Iran, which has obviously faced tremendous economic problems of late, we've seen this with the devaluation of the currency, they may no longer be in a position to economically sponsor Hamas. And ultimately, that is a good thing, not only for that region, but for the West as well. At the same time, there are obviously clear challenges here, first and foremost being that Hamas as a terrorist group and as well as a political entity still is not abiding by the quartet's conditions, namely to renounce the state of Israel, to accept the state of Israel, and also to fulfill its obligations under any agreements reached by the PA and Israel itself. This opportunity by the Emir of Qatar could lead to a moderation of Hamas, but it remains to be seen.
Josh, the Emir really got the star treatment, didn't he? At one point, the Prime Minister was acting as his chauffeur. What is in this for Qatar?
Well, this demonstrates Qatar's growing geopolitical clout across the region, and its demonstration that it wants to play an active, muscular role, not only in helping to resolve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, very similar to Turkey, which has pressed and espoused the Palestinian cause under Prime Minister Erdogan's leadership, but also we've seen muscular moves by Qatar with regard to both Syria and Iran. Obviously, Qatar, along with Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Jordan, are actively supporting the rebel forces that are combating Assad and his regime, and also the danger from Iran, and the sense that was growing in the Gulf that Iran's sponsorship of Hamas, and its, as former President Mubarak stated, he once felt that he had a neighbor in Iran with the Gaza Strip. Qatar is poised to play a much more significant role in this region and exercise frankly, more moderating influence over Hamas, along with Turkey and Egypt. I might add that both, as members of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Mediterranean last summer, called on Hamas specifically to accept the quartet's conditions, and in so doing would lead the way to not only reconciliation with Fatah, but also to, hopefully, broader talks with the Israelis.
And just very briefly, Josh, given the growing influence of the Muslim Brotherhood in the region, no harm in having friends in Hamas?
You know, I think that I'm cautiously optimistic on the influence of countries such as Qatar, but also Turkey and the new government in Egypt. This is, from the standpoint of the region and also partners in the West, including the United States, the United Kingdom, and France, this is a welcome development compared to the influence that Iran and Syria had. And it's now upon the international community to urge Qatar, given its geopolitical clout and rising influence, to impress upon its counterparts in Gaza, namely Prime Minister Haniya and Khalid Mishal in Doha, that Hamas must abide by these conditions in order to move forward, both intra-Palestinian reconciliation and to achieve some progress on reconciling and ultimately finding a two-state solution with Israel.
Josh Lockman at the University of Southern California, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, Mike.
Thanks to you for being with us. Stay with us.